1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of Red Rising. This episode is unique because I'm not in it. And while that may be appealing to you, just know there's a reason I'm not in this one. Because it's full of spoilers. On this first ever recorded episode of Red Rising, Sam, Liz, and Craig find their podcast bearings and sit down to discuss, well, I'm not entirely sure, because it's full of spoilers. If you're like me and you haven't finished the entire series, that's Red Rising through Lightbringer, stop and turn back here. We'll be back with more spoiler-free episodes following along with the books soon, but this one is not safe for innocent ears. If you're still here, either spoilers don't concern you or you're Pierce Brown, and these obviously wouldn't be spoilers for you. Regardless, Pierce, come on to the podcast.
Hello.
Hey. Hello, everyone. You're listening to a super secret spoiler episode of the Red Rising podcast. Just a group of fans talking about Red Rising. I'm Sam.
I'm Craig.
I'm Liz.
And today, this might not even be released. We're getting some spoilers off of our chest since one of our cohort, Nick, has not read the second trilogy version. We're about to podcast with him, and we just want to get stuff off our chest that could potentially be spoilers. So this is open spoiling every single book that has been released. And if you haven't read every single book, turn this off right now.
Turn it off. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler.
For the whole thing.
The entire series. And we're recording this oddly. This is our episode 0.
Yeah, we haven't done anything yet.
No other recordings have been recorded. So, and the reason we're doing this is because I, Craig, am terrible at not spoiling things for people who haven't read it. So I think the challenge is that in episode 1, where we're talking about Red Rising Part 1, we're trying to get
Keep
this
it to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just don't want anyone to have fun. You want
except for the three of us. Yeah. Should we do how we all got into Red Rising?
I think we're going to cover that in episode 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right,
if
so this is episode
we release
7.
this, if we release this and anyone's listening to it, they know more about us and probably some of these takes already potentially.
That's true.
Yeah, these are hot takes.
Because I encourage you, Craig, to say, I can't use your name every time. I call Craig a different name from when we met each other. And now every time I say it, I forget everything I'm about to say after it because I'm focused so much on saying Craig.
It's challenging, yeah.
But I'm going to get there. I encourage you to bring these takes up as we go and they're not spoiler. This isn't the last time you'll say these things either. This is just to get it out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wanted to begin with Darrow.
Take it away.
Darrow, the main character of Red Rising, our protagonist, our god of war. And I'm sure that we'll get into this in episodes 1 through 100. But I love Darrow. I think he's astonishing as a character, and hats off to Pierce Brown for how he wove Darrow's story. But I think we need to get into why Darrow continuously makes the same mistakes over and over. And so the first one being, his mercy is always a problem, right? So Adrius, should he have killed him in book 1? Hot take. I think yes, absolutely. Obviously, he should have. Lysander, he should have killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cassius is the only question mark. Cassius being the sort of example of why Darrow has the belief that gold can change. Virginia too, right?
I love that someone coming out, we saw his arc and he did come out good. And you're like, question mark.
Well,
should he have lived? I don't know.
Sure, but
these are some spicy hot takes in my opinion.
But Cassius kills Fitchner.
Right.
Right? And so I think if we take a step back and look at it holistically, would it have been better to kill one single Cassius, who we all love? Liz is obsessed.
Character.
Yeah.
We share that, Liz?
I do really like Cassius a lot. Yeah, I think his character is so great. I think he's just a good embodiment of how good gold can be if they all truly were behind this resistance, or what do you call it? Evolution. Yeah. So, but I think that's what makes Darrow think that a lot of them can change when we don't see that to be the case.
But everybody falls in love with Darrow. I mean, the characters, right? So Cassius is good purely because of Darrow. There's no other character that could have done it. Certainly not Severo, right? So that's my first hot
Anyway,
take.
mercy is a weakness. That's what we're landing on as your first take.
Mercy is a weakness.
That's where we're landing.
Because
We're
even
landing
if
on it.
told him like kill Lysander, it's gonna come and bite you later in the ass, and as we
I have
see.
to like pull the like Lord of the Rings ripcord here. Like, isn't that one of the main like lessons we learned from Lord of the Rings? Is like it's not your place to like. It wasn't Bilbo's place to kill Gollum when he had the chance.
What's that quote? It's such a good quote.
I know. I'm like slaughtering it, and it's literally famous.
It was my high school quote in my
no.
Yeah, in my book.
Your book, yeah.
It is not for us to decide.
Yeah.
Anyway, that quote, we'll put it
so
put it in the show notes.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. No one here is doing show notes. Come on.
Liz hasn't seen Lord of the Rings.
I have not seen it, and I've not read it.
Okay, so then
Spoiler
I can
alert.
tell you
Spoiler.
this IP that's been out for more than 50 years.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to spoil, but we should just let everybody know. So there's this little character who like is a little menace, and someone could have killed him in a prequel. He decided not to, and Frodo's like, why didn't he kill him? And Gandalf is like, that's not for you to decide. You don't get to choose who lives and dies.
All we can do is decide what to do with the time that is given to us.
Yeah. So thank you. Perfect. So then it turns out that like Gollum does end up evil, but he also ends up being the reason that the ring is destroyed. So I don't know, like, is mercy a weakness? Mercy is an individual act of like a person. The way it plays out on the like grand stage of life is out of our hands.
But if we extend this mercy as a weakness metaphor, Lysander could have been killed by Cassius in book 6, right? Cassius is getting shot running at Lysander.
That was such a disappointing end to Cassius. It's like,
incredibly
why?
disappointing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was tough. I just didn't enjoy that.
And it's the same, like, yes, he loves Lysander. He hopes that Lysander will have this moment where he becomes good, right? He can become good. Lysander has just killed Atlas, who has a packet of, like, genetic chemicals that will kill whatever color they want, right? So, like, one single moment of mercy could be the undoing of an entire race, effectively, of people, right? So, like, it's the classic, like, the one or the many conversation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also wonder, though, that, like, had he killed Lysander, would that just not fuel the other side that are like, oh, well, look at how he's just, like, murdering all these people. And maybe, like, him not killing Lysander, we'll see how it plays out, right, like, in book 7. But maybe him not killing Lysander is going to add to people joining his cause more than, like, being opposed to him, because he's going to say, it's kind of like your enemy, the enemy of my enemy is sort of like my friend kind of thing, where they'll all say, well, Lysander has this thing and is going to kind of destroy people, whether they're, like, people that they love or they're them, and they're like, well, we don't want that. So mercy, yes. Darrow does have a lot of mercy in him. Like, he didn't even want to kill Tactus, or what's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but had he not killed him, it probably wouldn't have gone well either for him.
But that's it, right?
I don't know. That's where I land, Craig, is like, we can say that because we're looking at a zoomed out version of the whole story. But as an individual in that moment, all you can do is pick, like, it's such an individual choice, whether you pick to, like, be merciful or not. And so where would you want to fall there? Like, in that individual choice with your blinders on, like, you have to decide that between you and yourself, and if you believe in God. Like, that's...
Darrow has the opportunity. He has taken the mantle on of God of War and sort of hero of this republic. And so the choices that he makes have to be, live for more, kind of he has to make decisions for more too. And he so frequently makes decisions that, like, he thinks are right and end up being not right. I mean, the War on Mercury, book 5, first of all, incredible story, right? Where Atlas is, like, impaling forests of civilians.
Yeah.
Darrow has a choice to make, like, he could have killed Orion sooner. And she turns up the, what are those
Yeah, like the
storm gods, the storm
Yeah.
god. So that they don't see Final Horizon or whatever it is. And he doesn't do it in time. And
Oh, yeah,
so
she's so great, though. That
I
was hard for
know.
all of
she's so
us.
great, though.
Respectful, though.
Yeah, but
She was such
literally
a great character.
millions of people die
I
because
know, but
of
it's
him waiting like 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So
Do you wanna stay here? You're driving this episode
I don't need to
0.
stay on Darrow's
Yeah, because you got a
mercy
lot
being
here.
the
I'm seeing a lot. So do you
yeah.
wanna move on?
Well, I think the next topic would be like ethics, right? So as we are going through the book, we see Rose perspective down in the mines, being lied to, having this realization, seeing his wife murdered, and then having this realization that all of the Reds have been lied to for 700 years. And so he uses this rage, his famous rage, to wreak havoc on society. And then when Octavia is killed at the end of book 3, we think to ourselves, a new world is coming. 10 years later, the war is raging. And by the end of book 6, I forget what the count is that Atalantia mentions in book 5 or 6, but something like 300 million people. Oh no, is it billions? Something like 300 million people have died. And so we have these two sides. We have a failed republic that is, being manipulated by the abomination.
I cannot wait for
And
the
then we
Abomination's death. I just like cannot.
and then we have this the society and Lysander's view that gold is the solution and that people need a shepherd. Where are the shepherds? This is great quote from the line. And so I lean towards, this is awful, this is a hot take. I lean towards like the society, which Sam knows, I think we've talked about in voice memos.
Yeah, because you're looking at, like, body count. You're like the society. You actually Lysander's dream, essentially.
Right.
Yikes.
He grimaces as he says, "Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking."
Yeah, so I don't entirely agree, but like what has the Republic given us?
See, I think the Republic could have worked and can work if we don't have, right, like the Abomination. We don't have like the other people, the other golds that are like, no, we want to remain in power and keep that power. So even though they've sort of either been part of the revolution or they've kind of stayed out of it, right? Like they still like the Rim, they want power. It's not like they want it to be a true republic. But I think if the people were about being part of a true republic, then I think it could work. But I don't know. I think it's like, right, like they just see themselves as better because they are made to be better. So they are saying, well, why can't we then rule? But you can't rule everybody just like one, like golds can't rule everybody because they don't know what everybody needs and what everybody wants, right? So I think that the Republic can work once we get rid of the Abomination, really, number one. Take that thing out.
I mean, Sam, what do you think? We have the Day of Red Doves, right? Where there's a Senate, Virginia is the leader, and everyone is massacred by not gold, but by this mob.
Yeah. Well, those are like, yeah, the antagonists, I feel like Liz is referring to.
Yeah,
I
but it's
think
not. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. The a the system of government is not the issue. The issue that is that, like, that system of government as they want to employ it is, like, incompatible with those that Liz just mentioned, like, want to have ultimate power. And I think it makes sense to, like, continually ask throughout the book. Like, I think it's by design to ask, is this all worth it? Because so many people die, there's so much suffering, even just of our main characters, like, let alone all the masses that just get, like, wiped out constantly. But then you kind of that's why I know, like, book 1 isn't our favorite, but I'm really interested to go back to it because that kind of sets the stage of, like, how the original society is, and I was just rereading the first chapter, so we'll get into this in episode 1, but when, like, Darrow and Io sneak out and they've, like, never seen the sky before, like, their race is being actively, like, lied to about what they're doing. Like, they're not living, they're not free, they're, like, as negative away from freedom as you can get. Like, they're not even aware of their own
Yeah.
oppression. And, so I return to that kind of thing, and I'm like, what they're fighting for, I do think is ultimately worth it. It's just tough because you do see, like, all of this. Like, just because there was peace doesn't mean that there was, like, happiness and, like, people thriving and freedom. It was just peace. So I think that's kind of why we're maybe still out here fighting the good fight.
I mean, so if we put on our Lysander hat,
which you're wont to do,
which I am wont to do, who says this? Augustus says this in book 2. Nero, Augustus says to Darrow something like, "Do you not think that I know reds could pilot ships and oranges could write sonnets and whites could write poems, you know?"
Right.
And so when who's the super wealthy guy?
Oh yeah. The
Silver.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I know. This is Liz.
I know.
No, this is our great downfall.
This is going to be the whole podcast.
What's his name? He replaces all the reds in the mines with robots, right? So we don't need reds in the mines. And then the great question of our time is, which actually Darrow's mom says in book
Quicksilver
2 or 3, Quicksilver, Liz coming in hot.
You.
Darrow's mom says, do you think about these things?
Mm-hmm.
And Darrow's like, I think about them. And Darrow's mom is and Darrow's mom is like, of course you don't. Like, what are we gonna do up in the above ground? All we know is the mines, and which is true, right? And then we see that play out with Lyria, that like her internment camp is devastated and everyone's impoverished, and
but when she gets a
better
job
life.
And she has a place to put her brother, she actually starts thriving.
For the golds.
Yeah, but she's like employed. Sure, it's with the golds.
Because in the mines,
she got lucky. She's one of hundreds of millions.
But we want to live in a world where she can like choose where she wants to go and like create a life for herself.
And
Please,
I think
Liz.
part of it is like the revolution didn't start like Darrow didn't have a plan, to be fair. Like he was just pulled from the mine to be like he was god of war. They didn't he wasn't the mastermind of make all the Fitchner was the one with the plan, right? And then Fitchner got killed. So then it's sort of through everything.
Because of Cassius.
Yes.
Call back.
So had Fitchner lived, what would have happened to this revolution? Would it have had more of a plan that they were like, okay, we want to fit these people in these places of power? Or, I think Darrow's anger also kind of screwed things a little bit. Like when he went into the spaceship where Fitchner had to kind of then give himself away. I feel like that also didn't, this is taken away from the conversation, but I just feel like that also didn't help. And I think he should have his temper could be tamed a little bit to help the overall society. But ultimately, I think that it's good that they're fighting, because having the choice of being able to get employed and stuff is better than just living in the mine and not knowing what else is out there. I mean,
and being starved, they didn't control any piece of their lives.
They were
and
still
just getting
starving.
killed for no reason. At least this time you're dying, but at least it's for something that you're fighting for,
and hopefully leads to an outcome that's a better future. But it's always going to be messy. I mean, they're fighting a superhuman race that was designed to kill everybody else who doesn't want to cede power. That's never going to not take a long time and be really messy. But is it worth it? I guess maybe 1 to 2 of us would say yes, and one would maybe say no,
because he's
I'm just playing. I'm playing devil's advocate. Yeah.
No, of course. Of course.
We have not seen an example of the Republic working, and we have not seen an example of Lysander's version of government, where gold is actually doing what the original Iron Golds did, right? They provided a framework where they could expand beyond the petty, human things that were ruining Earth. And so I feel, and we'll see in Red God, I mean, obviously the good guys have to win.
Who are the good guys?
Maybe.
Yeah. Depends on who you ask in this room.
Right.
I
don't know. I feel like Lysander's, I mean, it would be interesting to see, because I just feel like Lysander's idea of society will just fall back into what it was anyways. You're not gonna give people the mega god race power and expect them to kind of contain it. No, everybody's gonna kind of want to run for more power and more prestige and more and more and more. So it's just, I think, gonna fall back into like, who's gonna rule? Is he gonna be like his grandmother, or is he gonna be like his, grandfather, like great grandfather? Like, I think it's gonna fall back into that society. I don't know.
I think it has to. Like, I don't see a different way for that to go. As long as you think that like golds are the top of the food chain,
Yeah.
then that leads to golds making all the decisions for everyone, and like, all the way down the
Trickle down, yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, we see examples of, and then we can move on from this topic. The rim, which obviously is not held up as any sort of standard for goodness, is, I think, better than the core golds and the way that they treat people, right? Like different colors for the most part.
Right.
So it feels to me, but it's a different out there, like they're literally fighting for their survival all the time. So they can't afford a rebellion, which is why it's such, like for us as a reader, it's such a big deal that Darrow sells out the Sons of Ares on the rim
Yeah.
when he makes that deal. Anyway, we can move on from this. But
It's gonna come up again.
Yeah.
It'll
I
come up
also
again.
like am remiss to not mention the like what is it called? Like the common denominators between like how this could be an allegory for our times.
Oh,
We don't
100%.
have to get into it.
Are we getting
but,
into it?
like,
Yeah.
I was like, are we going to get into it?
I know. I don't know. I think maybe we move on in your list and then let that come as it comes.
So I was
This
thinking
is
about
day
this
one.
morning. Wait, mark this part. Mark this, Sam.
Marked.
Marked.
Do we make this a political podcast?
I think this is a show about politics, so it's like inherently political.
Commentary will happen, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we're all comfortable with that.
Sam,
But
you watched
if you're
Andor.
asking if I want to be like in the political sphere, no, I have not. Nick has. So you and Nick can have a shoot off Andor, or we can have a whole
Oof.
episode on it and I can catch
Okay.
up. Have you watched Andor, Liz?
I have, but it was a long time ago, and to be honest, I don't remember. There was a time I was just kind of watching all of those kinds of shows in packs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My issue with Andor is I'm here. I'm living life. Like I don't want to. Like I don't need the extra reminder that we're slipping into fascism.
Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway,
So anyway, I say bring it up as it comes up, but
yeah, ice.
We're like almost
Yeah.
halfway through, and you've got like a million more case files to go.
I do
So
have some case files. All right,
I'm gonna mark
this
it.
is-
Hold on, and we're jumping back in.
we're jumping
that
back in.
Okay, Mark. Okay, go ahead.
Liz, throwaway characters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay. So I had a list, and I don't remember
You have
where
a
it
list.
starts from, but we can start.
Ajax, Wolfgar, Lyria with the worm robot,
That
Serafina
was
Al
such a
Rao.
waste. Yeah.
How are you defining throwaway character?
I
Because
think
like Lyria has chapters dedicated
Ugh.
to her point of view. So if we
Yes.
throw those away, is the story told?
Well, I
but-
just feel like her character could have had such development and growth, especially with that worm, that would have come into play somehow and have been like more impactful than her giving it away. And now I'm like, are you just gonna be Victra's like helper till the end of time? Like, what are we like? You could have had such a more like, yeah, just a bigger role, I think, in the whole revolution.
So, Lyria.
Lyria,
It's the same thing, right? Do you truly live for more? Do you make sacrifices on sort of basis that you don't get everything you want and you're going to do something for the greater good? Darrow has been doing it, right? Like he doesn't get to see his kid for the majority of the whole series. Or his wife for that matter, or his mom, or Severo in the books 5, 6. Lyria has the opportunity to have a superpower in her head and assist in the rebellion. And she very selfishly, I think, volunteers to get rid of it. And then we're like, why? What is the purpose of Lyria's character? Except for this moment where she's like, yeah, I'll make a sacrifice. And she's like, no, I'd rather remember my brother, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well,
millions of people have died. You could help.
my memory is super vague. Like you're gonna have to piece these together. So just something I'm saying ahead of time in case I get something wrong. I mean, it's coming to me that like we're seeing a potential divide in the characters of like Severo being like, nah, family, And now we're seeing Lyria come to that decision point and have to decide like which one's important to her. And so maybe it's just along that motif.
Yeah.
But
Frustrating.
I feel you with the little worm. Did Quicksilver end up with that?
He melted it down to scrap.
Okay, so it became nothing, which is kind of like, yeah,
nothing.
that could have been cool.
Yeah.
And
So
it was
yeah. I mean, but the people, because she got it from that one, and I don't remember it. I'm so bad with names. I don't remember their name. But she got it from that
Fig.
one other character.
Figment.
But it really helped a lot
Fig.
when they were fighting that like ghost people. So are those ghost people just kind of gonna run through everybody? And because they're not, at least so far, we haven't seen that they're part of any particular team. They
the
kind
Ghost
of-
Bloods.
the Ghost Bloods.
Those are roving
They're
band of Outer Rim. Did
Outer
you guys,
Rim.
are you familiar with Firefly and Serenity?
I've seen
did
it
watch
was been a
Firefly.
long time.
Yeah.
since I
So
watched
these are
Firefly.
the Reavers. I was like, oh shit, like there's Reavers in this. Like
Pierce Brown. Pierce Brown. Did you watch Firefly?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sci-fi homages throughout Pierce Brown. Like that's another thing on my reread. I'm like looking forward to like direct Star Wars quotes that I pulled, and like this one, I'm like, oh, that has to like.
Never tell me the odds.
Did he say that? Because I know there's no moon,
Yeah.
or that's no moon is in I think book 2.
That's no moon. Yeah. You're the one who pointed out to me. Never tell me the odds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was in the most
so
recent
funny.
one then.
Yeah. So Quicksilver on the wasted characters. Quicksilver in the middle of book 6, is admitting to Darrow that he's leaving. He's going on like a century ship with his kids, and taking all of these resources, which Darrow said, you could have built me 5 destroyers.
Yeah.
It's just another like, sure, people are going to do what they do, but it's like Quicksilver's being selfish,
Well, you don't think that's the last we're seeing of Quicksilver in this series?
Well, so that moment I was going to say, actually, where Han Solo comes back in episode 4, and like blows the TIE fighters up and helps Luke destroy the Death Star.
Oh, you think it's going to be like a
I think it's going to be
situation?
like that. Yeah.
I'm worried it's going to be a like Lysander just shows like Darrow over the holocam or whatever, like a dead beautiful family. Like that's where I'm like, it's just going to be like I'm more cynical about all of our dead characters.
Oh no.
Yeah. I hope
Yeah,
it's like
maybe.
coming in at the last minute situation.
Yeah.
It feels like it'll be sad because it's just so nice that I feel like it's gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way they'll escape. Alexander. So this is the
Alexander.
son or the grandson of Stoneside, Lauren Al Arcos. Alexander is like this extremely attractive, very talented razor master, mostly in book 5, right?
I'm sorry to interrupt, Craig, but did you share your theory about Alexander and Rona to Liz?
No.
I picked up
Want
on
to
it
share
later.
your theory? This is a real thinker. Go ahead.
Oh my God. So I was rereading the series for the 5th time or whatever, Liz.
That's important.
And I was
5th time.
Yeah, 5th time. And I was like, oh, Alexander and Rona have a thing. Like they're romantically,
maybe
they
there's a
want to be
thing going on.
romantically involved,
He shares that in our group chat, and Nick is like, "You think?" And I'm like, "You guys are so dumb."
I was like, wait, did I not like?
Yeah, could it have been more obvious?
That was the most obvious part of the entire book.
Anyway,
like this
hot
book
take.
is not for boys.
They wanted to date. Yeah. Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Okay, so I'm sorry. That was so cute. I had to make sure that was
cute.
broadcast.
It was very cute. But on the topic of throwaway characters, let's start with Pax, right? Pax is used a lot. Dies in book 1. We're made to fall in love with him. He gets a lot of airtime and then killed by the Jackal. Then a ship gets named after him. He's mentioned in every single book. Darrow's son gets named after Pax. So less of a throwaway character.
Wait, I'm still concerned about our definition of throwaway
characters.
Yeah, what does this mean?
Had such potential.
Yes.
Think of Pax being in the Severo Ragnar team going forward. Would have been so fun.
So you mean like, okay, not from a literary device standpoint. Like Pax was not throwaway from a literary device standpoint.
No.
Like
just
he
like
turns
what wasted
that second half of that book. Like, but you mean like R.I.P. Like we wish we could have read more.
Well, sure. So here's a true throwaway character. and this is a sort of deep cut. Tongueless. Do you guys remember Tongueless?
Name rings a bell.
So Darrow and his squad have just killed Wolfgar. They escape to go to Earth. They dive down underwater to Deepgrave, which is the walking underwater prison for villains. They save or rescue, kidnap Apollonius, and at the same time, they find an obsidian named Tongueless, whose tongue has been cut out. Tongueless then gets a lot of airtime to the beginning of book 5, where he is killed in a hallway.
Right.
For no
Saving
reason.
someone?
Yeah, saving
He
someone.
like is good, right?
Yeah, he's good.
Turns good?
He's
Yeah,
good.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, and he goes and he helps, defeat the Ash Lord on Ash Lord's,
didn't even.
Yeah, throwaway character. Couldn't speak, right? Didn't bring anything to the, except for the fact that he was there. Anyway, throwaway character.
Okay.
So, but wasted potential, Alexander, Pax, Titus, Wolfgar.
I just did not like Wolfgar's death. I was like, he had so much potential to do so many things, and then to die in like sort of a freak accident. I mean, it was kind of.
Do you remember that moment, Sam, where
I cried like a baby.
Sever tries to help and like it deflects. He shoots something and it deflects Darrow's blade through Wolfgar's head.
Yeah.
Anyway, Titus, which is a great example of a Cassius could have been a Titus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Am I thinking Titus? Apollonius' brother. Tactus. No. Tactus.
No. Oh, I called Titus Tactus earlier. I think I mixed.
Oh, did I confuse the two?
No, I think
Wait, what are Cassius's brothers named?
Cassius?
Oh my God.
Is it one? Is not
he has
Tactus
12
and Carnus?
brothers. Carnus Albulona. Yeah.
Okay.
Carnus is the big
Carnus
bad guy.
is, but Tactus is Apollonius.
Al-Ra. Yeah.
Al-Ra. Okay.
Yeah, so Tactus is, Darrow bought him a violin. He turns back and forth. He kidnaps Lysander and like puts him at risk when they're escaping the planet.
Right.
And then we have that incredible moment where Darrow and Severo have to shoot through the bridge of the enemy ship. And then Ragnar's like, "Are you a god?" Right? And he's like, "Can I offer you these stains?" Anyway, Tactus's character gets killed by Lauren Arcos because he's about to kill Lauren's kids and grandkids.
Right.
Well,
and then he gets like shanked.
Dropped the sword. He
did. And he went and stood next to Darrow.
Yeah.
And half of his face was melted. And he's just always wanted to be loved and trusted and
that's right.
Kept close, right? I feel like his story arc would have been so interesting. In parallel,
well, that
Roke,
is an arc. What you've just described.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Juicy arc.
But we've seen that moment so many times with Tactus in the Institute.
Flip flopping because he wants
flip flopping, right? So would he keep flip flopping, or would he become Cassius?
Right.
And then Roke, who commits suicide.
Roke was that one hurt.
Yeah, it hurts.
That to me, I think Roke is such a great character.
I love Roke's character.
He's a love to hate him, but like he's a great example of a sort of. I always go back to like Anakin Skywalker and how I've watched all of it and I still don't believe his turn to the dark side, except that I saw it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not well crafted, even with all of the stuff dedicated to it. And Roke, I think, is a really cool example of a way that can be done. Not the same circumstances at all related to Anakin Skywalker, but like he is someone who like you're like, oh, he's definitely into this. Like he's a poet, he's progressive, like and then all of a sudden you track back and like all of his beliefs track to his character, like none of it, but you're just so disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Nick disagrees with that. I'll be interested to hear his take on it.
We can talk about Roke with Nick.
We can. Yeah.
I just re-listened to the part, on the bridge where he kills himself. And I was like, oh, that was so sad. He had just like such potential. He's such a great flight person.
Such a great flight person. I was gonna say the same thing.
Like a strategist. Yeah. He's really good. All right. Serafina Al-Ra. Anybody remember?
Yeah. You think she's a throwaway?
Throwaway. right? So we see her briefly. She is the
We need a
reason
new
that
name for
the
this.
truth about what Darrow did gets back to Dido, her
Yeah.
mom.
Mhm.
And then Dido sets up the whole situation. And the best quote in the book between her and her husband, where he's like, what's his name?
Yeah.
This is the classic, what's his name? And he's
Yeah.
like about to go do his suicide walk.
Yep.
And he's
Mhm.
like, I loved you. I'll always love you. I loved you before the sun, and I'll love you when it's in the darkness. You know, whatever that quote is, which we'll have to put in the show notes or something, because it's the absolute best quote.
Yeah, why don't you
Um,
go ahead and put that in the show notes?
I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead and do that.
Seraphina then goes with Diomedes to be the Rim's emissary to the
Right.
core golds. She
Mhm.
falls in the iron rain onto Mercury. She's cut in half by a railgun 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
That's it for Seraphina, right?
That's
But
it
like
for
she had
Seraphina.
such an interesting arc, potential arc as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I guess I'm understanding more your definition of throwaway, because a lot of these characters I do think are really interesting. They're also kind of like the chaos characters. Like, they're the ones that really drive the story, and then he gets rid of them. And then he introduces like a new
A new
character who's like,
person.
like did we decide it was Tactus? Is that the name we landed on? His like absolutely like incomprehensible way that he thinks and his craziness is a real like driver of a lot of the action that happens, because he just goes which way he flip flops, and we have like a character based reason for that. But then we get rid of him, and then like Seraphina, she was very she wasn't as crazy, but she was impulsive
Mhm.
and she was kind of duplicitous, where it's a brother, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, her
Yeah.
brother
Diomedes.
was not. And then she gets sliced in half, and we'll like find another person to like take up the mantle.
But we know that Pierce has the ability to create incredible characters. And Diomedes is a great example, right? He's the one who brings together Lysander and Darrow in that secret meeting where he's like, you guys need to get along or like figure something out here. I mean, we see it with so many characters, right? Like Sever has an interesting arc. Darrow, of course. Virginia, less so. Hot take. I don't love Virginia's character.
Okay, that is a hot take.
It is a hot take.
Hot take, I'm like,
Because
oh.
there's one moment, right, where Darrow takes her down into the mines and is like, here's a hollow cube of me being turned into a gold. And then Ragnar's like, you have 10 breaths to put down your weapon, right? And she smashes her light, and then Ragnar goes to kneel next to Darrow. And that is Mustang's moment, right? Where she has a choice and she decides not to kill them. That's the most interesting Virginia moment that we get in the whole series, in my opinion.
Okay.
Wow.
What do you
That's a
think
hot
about that,
take.
Liz? I mean, Phil, you want to take it? Your thoughts?
You can.
No, please.
No, I was just like, I'm surprised by that because I feel like Virginia does a lot. Like, I mean, with the whole Republic, with dealing with even the whole scene where her and the Abomination are going back and forth and she's, going through her office. We see like her smartness, right? And all of the technology that she's helped them create to help kind of balance out the Abomination. Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty hot take, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Because she's probably the second main character after Darrow,
Yeah.
right?
Or
She's
Right.
got
third,
Or
yeah,
Severo.
yeah.
Yeah, but Severo sort of
Severo, I
falls
was
to the
hoping
wayside.
would expand even more, but I feel like he's kind of falling
Yeah.
to the wayside a
Yeah,
little
he's
bit.
retracted a bit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on in there. She's like,
Yeah.
she's cold. I would honestly expect you to like her maybe more than Darrow, because she's so much colder in her decision making.
But I'm just not excited by her character.
Mm.
I guess I'll take that back. There are two
Not
moments.
enough
The one where
action.
she doesn't help her brother at the institute, right? That's a big like, oh, maybe
Right.
gold is okay. And then the second she doesn't kill Ragnar, but she's pregnant with Darrow's kid at that moment.
Yeah, but she's crafting the entire New Republic. And
Mhm.
when Fincher dies, from a overall tactician standpoint, I think she's the one trying to pull the strings when her husband doesn't like go off and like
God
do
of
shit.
War, yeah.
Yeah, like I think that she's the orchestrator. She's the brains behind the operation. But I
Do you
get
not?
that doesn't render as exciting
Yeah,
imagery.
I'm not as
There's not enough blood
She's
and
not like
gore, I guess.
like out running and like killing all the things and
Who is my favorite character? I
yeah.
love Victra.
Victor's incredible.
Yeah, but I think I said Cassius was my favorite character because I forgot Victra existed. She's my favorite. And then Cassius is my second favorite, but somewhere Sevro's got to be in there because he's also my favorite.
So Lyria, I'm not excited by the story arc. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Right? Like she's a tool. She's clearly a tool being used to be part of the kidnapping of Pax and Elektra. And then she's just always being used by people, right? And so in that final moment where she doesn't have the worm and she makes a choice for herself, I guess that's kind of like a full circle.
You hearing it?
Yeah, no, I get it, but it's so, I can't help but think like finally we've gotten to the point where like I get it. I'm not excited by that, But again, she's just being used as a tool. Victra, who is such a cool character, becomes more, I don't know, Republic leaning after her moment being chased by the Red Hand and seeing Ulysses die and how, she's saved effectively by Lyria down in the mines in the Red Hand base. Love Victor's story arc, and she becomes like, oh, I promise to protect you two forever. But in that, Lyria is just a tool. She's just allowing Victra to become a better version of Victra. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd have to reread, but she can't be if she gets to the point where she makes her own decision and it's actually against that which the audience would want. She's had to have a lot of growth up until that point, and I think that experience lent itself to that growth. She became more autonomous throughout that whole fight scene.
That's true. And she's the one who takes the initiative. Yeah, she takes the initiative to install the fake teeth.
Yeah.
And have the girls install fake teeth and then spit poison on
and she has to, because if I'm remembering, isn't Victra really, she kind of loses her shit. And she is it Snowball? I feel crazy saying the word Snowball. Is that her name?
That's the name of the ship.
The Obsidian.
Oh,
Who's the Obsidian?
That's a nickname of Ephraim for Volga.
Volga. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm like, no, it's not. So Volga and Lyria are kind of you got to be in charge. You're the in charge person here, and you're wigging out, and there's a stall moment where they're kind of she's gonna take charge though, right? Really, and then they have to be the ones to get them through a sequence. It's a really vague description because I'm very fuzzy, but that was one of my favorite parts of the whole series. Was that second half of Iron Gold?
Yeah. All right. How about Atlas Al-Ra, the Fear Knight?
Oh, yeah.
So he is, of all the villains, I think he's the best. Apollonius is also quite good, the Minotaur. The Fear Knight has this moment where he is explaining to Lysander why he does the forest. And he has a quote, which I have written down.
Nice. He comes with receipts.
Yeah.
I don't know where I wrote it down. Anyway, he's like, I fight with psychological warfare to get psychological casualties, therefore ending the war sooner. So you might not like my methods, but the war will end sooner because of the terror that I'm instilling in the population. They won't fight as hard. And then Atlas dies in that scene where Cassius kills him at the end of book 6. And of all the villains that I am least pleased to see die, actually, ironically, is Atlas. Because I think his motivations for doing what he does have the most depth. Right? He is not an Atalantia who clearly just wants power for the sake of power. Very sort of one-sided. Atlas is oh yeah, I fought in the outer asteroid for 10 years and came back a different person.
I need to reread that area because it is fuzzy.
That is a niche topic.
Yeah, I remember reading through it, obviously, and still feeling a little bit I wasn't connected to his reasons. But that could be because of the speed that I read it. I was reading a little too fast, and I was confused by the character names. Yeah. So, Liz, do you have a collection of how you think of this?
I don't remember. I feel like I remember thinking Atlas was a really good villain, really good, just he smart, could fight. But I feel I think I was still happy when he was killed. I mean, I didn't like that the way that he was killed in the Lysander manipulated Cassius to make it happen, but I did like that he was killed. And I think I was hoping he hadn't gotten the device at that time, but we know that he had. But yeah, I don't quite remember too much in Atlas. Yeah.
He's a really bad dude.
He's a
I
terrible
think that's
dude.
compelling. Like, he's
Yeah.
really, really bad.
He's
and
quite
I like
evil.
that from a villain standpoint.
Yeah.
And I think the reveal was fun.
The reveal is
that he's
fun.
Pulling the strings and all that.
Yeah,
I liked that.
That's true. And then, and this is the last, because I think we're almost out of time. Do you remember the villain Volsung Fa?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I liked that whole sequence.
Yeah.
Me too.
That to me was so campy. Like, I loved how draggy and campy
it was
and
so
over the top
draggy.
that was.
Yeah.
I loved that.
I loved it too. So
All
Vagnar
the world's a
Hefka.
stage, Volsung Fa. Go off.
Right.
Yeah, he does. And then we had this really sort of, I think, hilarious moment where we see him do the drag thing where he's like in his bathrobe, and we have this realization that, again, like everybody's just getting played by the golds. Like the level of strategy here cannot be competed with. Like this started 10, 15 years ago to create the idea of Volsung Fa, and it's just Vagnar Hefka who's pretending on
just
behalf
some
of
guy
Atlas.
who wants to have some horses
in
Italy, in Como or
That's
whatever.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah, I forgot about that. He just wants horses. He wants to retire.
Yeah. And this is the same man who has reached into people's chests and pulled out their hearts.
So, and yeah. That's right.
I don't want to, cutify him or anything, but
but he's kind of sweet.
Man, was he charming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And good at his job.
He's so good at his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Anyway, I think that's all of our time for today.
Yeah, this was great.
I'm sorry for running the topics. So
No, this was
that was perfect.
Craig's spoiler episode.
Yeah.
So I was even going to ask, how do you want to move forward from here with your because we talked about doing some intermittently.
Yeah.
Do we want another big one? Do you want to save time at the end of episodes for more spoilers?
I feel like it would be good to get Nick involved, so maybe we stick our spoilers to books 1 through 3.
Okay. Original
for
plan,
the next
basically.
episode. Yeah.
Okay.
Original plan.
Cool. Well, I'll get that all scheduled. But hey, if you're listening to this, that's a miracle.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to this.
Thanks, Mom.
Right. Jacqueline, my sister Jacqueline's listening to this. Jacqueline can use my personal email address or the special phone that we have connecting our two homes that is separate from, so she can reach out to us in other ways. But if you can't, then you can email us at thehowlerbookclub@gmail.com. Howler Book Club was taken. So the Howler Book Club at gmail.com and let us
shout
know
out to Howler.
your spicy takes. And if you have, critical messages you want to send to Craig because you really disagree with his spoily,
his
hot spicy takes.
The most hate I'll get is for the Lysander take, right?
I think Virginia.
The Virginia take is
Virginia.
going to catch you some heat, sir.
Okay.
And I'll have you know, Craig is an ally to women. I'll say it now
100%.
because that's
Thank you.
not going to
Sorry.
come through on your
No, it
takes
won't.
for Virginia.
That was not,
You just want excitement. That's fair.
Yeah. Or we'll uncover that you're a secret. You're a Volsung Fa.
Yes, absolutely. I'm an ally. But email the howlerbookclub@gmail.com.
One of the best, arguably one of the best female characters in science fiction right now.
Oh, Sam, I forgot to talk about, we can talk about it in episode 1. How the Telemanis family is the best, your quote, the best fictional family since the
Weasleys. And now,
Weasleys.
given how fraught it is for me to even engage with Harry Potter content, they're my new Weasleys. My new tight-knit family.
Yeah, what's not
but they're not even in the first part we're going to be discussing. So we're going to stick to book 1, part 1 next.
Yeah. Pierce Brown, come on the podcast. Tim Gerard Reynolds, come on the podcast.
And that's a good way to end, is just Craig reminding everyone all the celebrities he wants on the podcast.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's a different episode of Celebrity Requests.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Good job out there.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that bonus episode from the vault. That was recorded way back before we worked out proper audio setups, though admittedly, I'm still working that out. As always, thank you for listening to the Red Rising podcast. We'll be back soon with our normal discussion that follows the progression of the books and doesn't spoil the second trilogy. We'll just stick with our first trilogy spoilers. See you next time.